Hello, hello. I really hope you guys can't hear my washing machine, but today we're going to be making an organic chemistry template. So you might have seen on Pinterest or on TikTok people using these really great looking templates that have hexagons on them, and it allows them to draw elements really easily. So that's what we're going to be making today. So first things first, what I have on my screen is the properties panel, the layers panel, and upwards panel. You don't need all of these, but if you want your screen to look like mine, everything can be found under window here. This is sorted by alphabetical order, and anything you want on your screen you can pull up here. So upwards, layers, and properties there. You're probably going to need the properties panel open for this tutorial. Second, if you want your toolbar to look like mine, just go to these three dots down here, and then you can click up here to this little menu that looks like this, and you can change it from basic to advanced. So we're going to be using Hexagon. So to do that, you just pull out from your rectangle tool and then choose polygon. We're going to click, and this is going to bring up this menu. So you can change the number of sides your polygon has, the radius, but we want it to have 6 sides. And for height, I'm going to choose 0.7 centimeters. So over here in the transform part of the properties panel, in height and making sure that this button is clicked on, I'm just going to type in 0.7. Okay. And so now this is what it looks like. I am going to hit X, which changes if we're editing the fill or the stroke, and I'm going to hit slash, which will remove the color from whatever we're editing. So now this doesn't have any color. I don't like how thick the stroke is for it, so in the properties panel, I'm just going to tick that down, and I'm going to keep it at 0.5 points. It's very black, so for color, I'm going to click the square beside the word stroke, and I'm going to click this little paint palette here, and over here where it says K, this is black or key. That's just because I work in CMYK pretty much always. I'm going to make that about 40%. So you'll see as a gray, that made it pretty light. This is because when you're writing, you don't really want your templates to be like black. So now that we've got our hexagon here, I am going to make a pattern with it. So to do that, we go up here to Object, and then Pattern and Make. So tile type, it says grid. I'm just going to do hex by column. For height, I'm going to type in the exact dimensions, so making sure that this is ticked on, 0.7, and now everything is perfectly touching each other. It doesn't matter how many copies you show when you're editing this, that's fine. So now I'm just going to call this hex pattern, and up here we can click done, and let's put it in our swatches. It should have automatically opened your swatches, but if it didn't, just go window and then swatches down here. So now we can delete that hexagon and make a rectangle. So a rectangle there, and I'm going to turn off stroke, so hit X so that I'm editing the stroke, slash to remove it, X so I'm editing the fill, and then I'll just select the hex pattern here. Now how patterns work in Illustrator is they're kind of just like revealed by the shape. So it doesn't really matter how we view it because I'm actually going to be releasing it from its pattern. As you can see, we get parts of it that are cut off. That's not what I want. So once we have our pattern, and I'll just make that the whole page, leave some room above if you wanted to insert something like a title. And then we go Object and Expand. Click OK. And so now you can see that it's still like cropped, but when we go Command Y or Control Y, this brings us into outline mode, and we can see that the pattern is complete at the edges. but it's just masked by this. So in the properties panel, you can go release mask here. We can go ungroup, but that hasn't completely fixed it. So you can see that if we click on these individual ones, we still have release mask. So if you want to release the mask on all of them at once, I'm just going to delete the bounding box. Just click and drag to select all of it. And then you can go Object, Clipping Mask, Release, and that will release that. And now it's grouped. So we just select it all, Command-Shift-G to ungroup, and now each hex is its own shape, and so that makes things a bit easier. If we go Command-Y or Control-Y into our outline mode, we can see we have a bunch of invisible shapes. So I'm going to select one of these, and since these have no fill and no stroke, and they're the only objects on our canvas that have no fill and no stroke, that means that we can use our select tools to pick up all of them. So we've got one selected. If we go to Select menu up here, we go Same, and we go Fill and Stroke. It will pick up all objects with no fill and no stroke and add them to your selection, so you can just delete them. If we go back into outline mode, they're completely gone. So that makes things so much easier for us. So now I'm just going to delete some of the hexes to make things just a bit neater. And now I'm going to group all of it. And I might remove a couple more rows to do something like a title. And that is our hex pattern there. So that's how you make a template. You could do something like making, half of it being hexes and some of it being aligned paper. And what's really great about this is you have so much control over the shapes, the height of all of these hexes. So, you can do 0.7 millimeter lines and it will match up perfectly with each hexagon. So someone using this template could then be writing notes on next to all their elements that they've drawn, and it will line up perfectly. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I make new videos every Tuesday and Friday.